Boom. Hello, everybody. How is everyone feeling today? It is Wednesday, and you know what it is. We do Mauricio Mejia live every Wednesday starting at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube Live. So today, before we get started, I want to give a quick thank you to our past guests and my current sponsors on the show. So I want to give a quick shout out to Elizabeth Diaz from Juicalize. Today, I'm actually going to be drinking a drink called I Am Awesome. And actually, it's a very amazing drink. It's got spinach, kale, turmeric, pineapple, apple, and lemon. It's so far I had a little sip. I wanted to save it for the show. And I want to give her a big support here. A local entrepreneur with a big heart and a big vision. So make sure to stop by her website, juicalize.com. Also, my new sponsor that just jumped on board. Got to give a big shout out to my girl, Mina Palivan. I always chop up her name, and she started her own new business and jumped on board and sponsored me, Arban. And I got this whole men's kit, facial stuff, facial wash, facial lotions. You know, us men, we got to take care of ourselves. So we got to do what it takes to make sure that we're out there representing as well. I also want to thank my past guests, and the list started to get long, so I had to shorten it down. But two of my last guests, St. John, on-air personality on 99.7 Now in San Francisco. He's also a production and voice guru and a good friend. Actually, not just a good friend. He's like my big brother, mentor, and just one of my boys that I can really count on. And whenever I need to have questions, even today, he called me. He's like, "Hey, you got a big day today, and you got to be excited about what's happening and so forth." And I am. I'm very excited about today's show. It's our 10th episode, and the guest that I have on here that's coming on the show today is an amazing human being. Has got an amazing heart. Has impacted my life when I first got to the ability to share the stage with him. So thank you to Billy, music producer, program director for Q102 SF. Former nightclub owner and operator. So that's kind of the common thread we have. He definitely checked in and just got me really excited. And it's interesting. There's times where I do get nervous when I'm about to do a show or stuff. I get clammy, just like any artist or any person that has that's hitting pivotal points in their lives. So I just want to say thank you for everyone that also gave me the support and was really like, "Hey, is this really happening?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, this is really happening. I'm excited about this, and I'm excited about the guest that's going to be joining us. And we're going to be talking about some amazing things. You saw the promotions that we did this week. We're going to be talking about identity leadership. We're going to be talking about the 9-step program that he has. It's a proprietary program, and he's got he's got many books, but the one we're going to be talking about today is the identity leadership. And I know that you guys have seen it through my promotions. And before I even show all of this, I want to talk about the guest and read it because it's a long list of accolades here. So I definitely had to take my notes. So chairman and CEO of S. Graham and Associates. He's a businessman. He's an educator. He's a speaker. He presents, consults, and conducts training with corporations, educational entities. That's how we first met, through an educational entity. He does things with the military and the veterans, nonprofits, and the government. His identity message is grounded in the facts that the key to success is self-leadership capabilities. And we've talked about this. I've said this many times before. In order to lead others, you must learn to lead yourself first. And it goes with also take it to the next level, love. In order to love, you got to learn to love yourself first, and then you'll be able to truly love and embrace the rest of the world. So the Identity Leadership Program is driven by a proprietary 9-step success process, which is based on the philosophy that individuals, meaning you, us, we hold the power to our education and to our careers and our personal success or failure. And I know that I've talked about that in the past as well, that if we're going to hold ourselves accountable, and accept the things that happen, we are the ones that first have to do it. And I've shared as well in the past, failures are not failures where they bring you down. Failures are where you look back and you learn from your experiences, and then you take it to the next level. So I don't want to hold back. I want to be respectful of his time, and I want to welcome everyone today on Mauricio Mejia Live's episode number 10, my friend and mentor, Stedman Graham. Stedman, how are you?
How you doing? How's everything?
Good. I don't know if you hear what I'm saying while you're backstage, but I had to give that introduction, man, and I just want to say, Stedman, thank you very much for making the time today on this beautiful evening. I know it's got to be beautiful down where you're at right now, so I want to welcome you and thank you very much for taking the time to share your knowledge and to be with me this evening. So thank you.
Yes, it's my pleasure, Mauricio. Thank you so much for who you are and what you do. You're talented, man. I'm telling you. And skin is looking great with that product you're using.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. I just started to use it. It's it exfoliates. We got to look good, as we get older and the outside world takes a toll on us. Plus, just it's just a crazy house. So we make sure that we take care of ourselves when we pamper ourselves.
Absolutely. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. So, we talked about prior to all to today. I know that we've shared, we've had some conversations about you have many books that you've published, and your recent book, which we got to start and got to share the stage many times starting last year. We our last event that we it was probably one of the days that we spent together. We started at it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. We were in East Los Angeles for 1,000 kids. We got to speak with Miles Kovac, yourself. You got to share that you were the keynote, and you got to share and inspire 1,000 young men in East Los Angeles. And then, as soon as we were done, we had 20 minutes to shoot over to downtown Los Angeles, where we hosted a lunch for the largest YMCA in Los Angeles, and it was a sold out event, over 750. And then we got to give you a little bit of break, and we said, hey, no, we're not done yet. And we did our sold out event at the top of the US Bank building. And the honor and pleasure to go up to the rooftop, which was the helipad. And I have a video of us where we all walked up there, and you, myself, my sister, and a few other guests got to see just the amazing views of Los Angeles, Southern California. I felt like I was really at that moment on top of the world. So really quick, I want to put out the Identity Leadership book. I hear that it's doing phenomenal, right? I mean, you're still kicking butt on the sales on that, and then you have your passport. But this really inspired me to finish my book, Smoke and Mirrors, and then to create my second book, which was the passport kind of version of it, which is titled Decide, Commit, Execute. So you've had a big impact on me, Stedman, and I just got to say thank you very much for just having that impact and that amount of just influence on what I've done in the last year or so.
Well, it's a pleasure to do this work. I've dedicated my life to teaching people about identity leadership. So if you define identity leadership, it's self-leadership based on the philosophy that you cannot lead anyone else until you first lead yourself.
Yes.
And it really took me a long time, Mauricio, to even understand that, how important that is to be able to create self-mastery and self-efficacy and self-empowerment. When we talk about self-empowerment, we think of all of the physical things that we have. We don't think that, it comes from an internal process that we have to work on every single day to own ourselves. When I think of self-empowerment, self-mastery, I think of ownership. I
Yes.
think of being able to understand how to take information and education and apply it to your development, to your talents, to your abilities, to your passions, and to your purpose in life, and to your identity. And when you don't have one, it's very frustrating.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is. When you don't have that wire, that strong, that pull, then I've always given the analogy, you're like the boat with a broken rudder that's just hitting against the rocks. You have no purpose or direction yet. And once you find that, then you're off the rocks and you're off. Now, when you're in the ocean, it's a whole different. You have to recalibrate. We talked about that yesterday. I feel that I have recalibrated myself during these last couple of weeks. Well, we're going on 13, 14 weeks now being quarantined and so, the shelter in place. I've taken the time to really recalibrate myself, redefine what my purpose and what the bigger goals are going to be when we come out of this and how we come out of this, because it's there's no I just, we don't know. I've never been through something like this. So,
Well, it gives us a chance to really be introspective, where we can go within ourselves. We have the time now to really think about, how to create um, ownership for ourselves in the future,
yes.
because the world has changed. This is not 30 years ago, where you had retirement, you had a pension, everything was taken care of. You had a job, stayed on that job 20 or 30 years or more, and you were taken care of. This is, now you have to be a thinker, you have to be a lifelong learner,
Yes.
and you really have to understand who you are today, and develop some skills and a purpose around those things that are relevant to your development. It took me a long time to realize that. It took me a long time to understand that, the world is really not set up for you to focus on self.
Mm.
We live in a world where when we go to school, they teach us how to memorize and take tests, repeat the information back, get a label with grade. 2 weeks later, we forget the information. And then most of us, about 6.9 billion people of us, have a fixed mindset. And when I talk about fixed mindset, I often talk about doing the same thing over and over every single day. You wake up in the morning, you wash your face, you brush your teeth, you get something to eat, you get the kids out to school, you work all day, come home in the afternoon, you spend time with the family, you watch TV, you go to bed, maybe you dream. That's Monday, and you repeat that same cycle over and over. You heard me say that before. And
Ouch.
so
Yes. Yes.
you forget to turn the brain on. And, growing up for me, I really wasn't a thinker. I really just wanted to be a basketball player. I had some family issues. I grew up with two special need brothers in my family. I grew up with low self-esteem, a lack of confidence in myself. And so I didn't really understand the success process, or how success worked, or I was just told, go to school and get a job.
Yes.
And, it's taken me a long time to realize that, there's more to that. And if you're looking for freedom, which I was looking for because I had a race-based consciousness and I didn't understand the true meaning of equality. If you're looking for freedom, you'll never find it on the outside. Freedom is only on the inside. And it's kind of what we're dealing with today. We're looking for freedom, and we're looking for equality. And nobody's going to give you that. Nobody's going to
And
say, oh, here's freedom. Take this freedom.
and
You
and
really have
and
to earn it. And it takes a
yes.
long time to get there.
Yes, and I agree with that. Growing up in Southern California, single mother, which she, by the way, she's here. I want to say hello to my mother before I get. I love you, Mom. Thank you for being here and always being my number one fan. You're right. We're not given this. We have to earn it. We have to work for it. We have to be consistent. And I've learned over the past that being consistent and having the consistency in my life is giving me the opportunity to be where I'm at. And I like that you touched the fact that what's happening today. And you're right. We can't expect things to be given to us. We have to go out there and get it and earn it as well.
Well, it's a setup. It's a setup, in terms of people setting you up so that you don't think that you're good enough, or
Mm,
people setting you up in a caste system that marginalizes your existence, or people setting you up in a situation where all they want you to do is work for them. And
yeah.
just work, 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 work. And you look back after 30 or 40 years and you say to yourself, you know what? I have no more in
Mm,
the end than I had in the beginning, because
yes.
you aren't working on yourself. You're giving everything to everybody else. So basically, you become a slave to the world. You become a follower. You become a consumer.
Mm,
And until you realize, oh, it's about being able to take my power back. And it took me a long time to learn is not how the world defines you, but how you define yourself. You begin to now realize, oh, this is about self. Oh, I got to
yes.
turn the process around. I got to be able to read books. I got to be able to organize myself. I got to be able to create opportunity for myself based on my thinking, based on innovation, based on creativity. And now, Mauricio, you couldn't have a better opportunity than to be successful today, because we have access to technology. You can reach people all over the world. And
Amen.
so being able to understand how to organize information and knowledge and apply it to your talents and to your skills and to your purpose in life allows you to begin to grow, develop, build, and create your own future.
Yeah, and all that you have just said is it's been in agreement, and it's what I've been saying. I share with you today. This is our 10th episode of my show, and the purpose of the show is to share and to show that, hey, during these times we have to get creative. So to me, this show was born during this quarantine, and I've used the skills and I've used the knowledge that I've been learning and reading and just kind of going back and repeating it over, because we don't know what direction or what's going to happen after this. All we know is that when things open up, and I don't want to call it the new norm or when things become normal, but when things open up, that we're prepared for the next step. Everything for me is next level. And at the same time, you said just about self. Well, not only self, but in building ourselves, but then what do we do to give back and reciprocate and give that make that impact on our community and on our world? And right now we're seeing a lot of things that are happening in our world, not just here in the United States, but globally. The changes that have happened. This pandemic has become it's a global pandemic, and it's having to have people really rethink of what they're going to be doing next, because it's not going to be the same when people look back. It's not going to be what it was in the past.
Well, what you're talking about, Mauricio, is the world is changing.
Yes.
And the world is changing. The question is, are we changing?
Mm.
And when this is all over, it will pass, and we'll have other things to deal with, other obstacles to overcome. But the question is that when it passes, do you know who you are? Are you much further along? Have you utilized this time to work on yourself, to take care of yourself, to do some self-care, to be able to understand how to become a better person today than you were yesterday? Do you have a process for growing, developing, and building? Or do you, 20 years later, are you the same person you were 20 years ago?
Yeah.
So the key is, and this is why I created this 9-step success process, to teach people how to actually first to teach myself how to move beyond the definitions that I got, the labels that I've gotten throughout the years based on race, based on family, based on, sometimes my relationship with Oprah, and having people put me in a box and define me, label me, and try to marginalize my existence because they think they know who I am. And so,
wow. I'm not laughing at I agree with you, Stedman. When you say that, people make assumptions that they know who we are and who you are based on what the perception is versus the reality of it. And I think sometimes, that's a whole nother conversation. I didn't mean to interrupt there, but I wanted to just elaborate and echo what you're saying, because I agree with you 100%.
Well, I really worry about our young people today, and their ability to be able to get beyond the degree that they get from school. And oftentimes they go to college and they get these big time degrees, and they come out and they still don't have any skills, and they're still pretty much behind, and they're in debt, and they don't understand the value of themselves, and they don't understand the value of information and knowledge and how to apply that. And they're using the iPhone, and we have these devices, and we're taking these devices, and they don't become relevant to our development. Right. They just become a pastime to waste time. The thing that I learned is that all of us are equal because all of us have 24 hours.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
The question is, what are you doing with your time? How are you creating opportunity for yourself? What do your habits look like? What's your routine look like? Do you have a vision for yourself? Do you have a plan for yourself? Are you building relationships? Are you creating networks? Do you understand the value of the global marketplace and the value of having devices today and having the iPhone today and what that can do for you to empower you every single day? So it's really taking charge of your development, and you become a self-learner and a self-directed learner, which is what you have to become in school today, because kids are out of school, and this pandemic may come back in September, and they may have to go back home again. So the question is, what are you actually learning while you're home? When you have the opportunity to focus on yourself and develop yourself and build yourself, and you have access to information all over the world, the question is, how do you take that information and apply it to your development so you can develop a process of continuous improvement while you're young? If you get that while you're young, man, that's a powerful thing. So if I'm still going live, I'm going to keep talking. So the 9-step process is a process that teaches people how to organize their life around themselves. And the first step is check your ID. You have to have an identity. You have to know who you are. You have to understand how to take information and make it relevant to your talents and to your skills and to your passions, which is very important. Passion is very important because it's tied to your motivation. Are you motivated? Do you have the drive and the ability to make it happen? So go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Did you cut me off?
Yeah, we lost connection. So
okay.
I don't know if it was so I'm going to reboot right now and then we'll jump back on from where we left off.
Sounds good. Okay.
All right.
All right. Mauricio.
Stedman, go ahead and keep talking because people say they can hear you. I'm just logging back on right now.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
All right.
So I talked about the first step, the Identity Leadership Program, and the 9-step success process. It's an unbelievable process. I've used it all of my life to take control of my own thinking and development. And what I like about it is that I'm able to take the resources of the world and apply those resources to my development every single day so I can improve my life based on understanding who I am. So I'm not controlled by somebody else's thinking and someone else's program. And so that is the greatest education in the world. You're not confined by a classroom. You're not confined by a teacher. You're not confined by people around you who are telling you what to do. You're able to learn how to take education information and make it relevant. So the key here is becoming relevant. Are you relevant to the 21st century? And then you have the ability to be able to grow and create and design your own future, and then hopefully create social economic development based on that without being constrained by an average system that's in place designed to be average for the average person. And what I learned to do, being defined by race, I learned to create my own separate customized system for myself that helps me create and predict my future based on the work that I do, based on the vision that I have for myself, and based on the ability to set goals and achieve success on a daily basis. Which once you understand who you are, which is your identity, once you understand how to organize the greatest word in the world, the most powerful word in the world, which is love, and once you understand how to micromanage that, and I'm not talking about macro, macro is the big picture. Macro is looking at the whole world. Well, that's too big. What you want to do is you want to localize your ability to create opportunity based on a microeconomic, social economic program that allows you to set goals based on who you can become, not who you are. I know who you are. You're doing the same thing over and over every single day. You're not going anywhere. You're stuck in a box with 6.9 billion people who are programmed and who bought into the average system that teaches you how to be a worker. 1% run the world, everybody else is working. So what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to pull yourself out of that system and design a program for yourself that allows you to move from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Can you grow? Can you develop? Can you build? Can you create? Can you design? That's what thinking is all about. That's why we read. That's why we value information and knowledge. And like Einstein said, he said, you cannot solve a problem with the same mindset that caused it. So and what that means to me is that we're not focused on our unconscious, which determines really our habits and what we've done in the past and what we go back to when we get into a comfort zone. Is moving into the present, which allows us to receive new information, new technology, new experiences based on travel, based on new books, based on meeting other people, all of those things that allows us to move into the consciousness, allows us to raise our consciousness. And so my goal every single day is to try to figure out how to raise my consciousness. Am I conscious of what's around me? Am I in the present? Can I recreate a new program, a new system, a new software that allows me to get out of the box that I was programmed to be in most of my life? So you're moving from a slave mentality to an owner mentality based on what's possible for you in the world, using technology as a foundation for organizing and designing your life. Wow. What? You are now a thinking human being. You now can navigate 21st century, can navigate through all of the things that, were set up and designed to marginalize your existence as a human being. You cannot react to every single thing going on because of your emotional base, because you're stuck in your history and not your imagination. That's your foundation. You want to build that foundation so strong that it allows you to define yourself and allows you to define your purpose in life, so that you have a strong base, so you have a strong foundation, so that you have a strong core. You want to operate from the core of who you are, so you can consistently stay involved with that core.
Hello, amen, hallelujah.
Go back to.
I'm back. I'm so sorry, Stedman. I lost you. Wow, this is crazy. The whole computer, everything just shut down, and I had everything coming back, so I completely apologize that I disappeared. But everybody was like, hey, tell him to keep talking. We can watch him live. We don't need you on. So thank you for keeping going on. So keep going where you're at, and then we'll catch up right now.
So, knowing, I was just talking about the ability to have a core base and to keep going back to that core. That's what I love so much about where I am in my life, is that I have a core base, and I can relive my history. I can go back and I can shape it up, based on my thinking. But if you have no control over your thinking and development, if you just keep going back to your historical framework and background all the time because you don't have any new information, you don't have any new ideas, you don't have any innovation or creativity to be able to redesign. I'm talking about redesigning your future based on the world moving in a different direction, not staying in the same place over and over, doing the same thing over and over all the time. If you did the same thing you did yesterday, as you would do today, as you would do tomorrow, what have you done? Nothing.
That's right.
How many people are doing that?
Everybody.
6.9 billion people are stuck doing nothing, waiting for other people to define their existence. Ludicrous, crazy. If you turn your power over to someone else to define your existence, they will always define you as less than them. You cannot even afford to do that, because they're going to marginalize you. They're going to label you. They're going to disempower you. So you got to be able to keep working. Freedom is a journey. It takes a lot of work to be able to free yourself. I mean, that's work. It takes creativity, innovation. It takes working with people. It takes building relationships. It takes, showing up every day, showing up on time. It creating good habits. It's hard work if you want freedom. It's easy to be a victim. Be a victim, that's easy. Blame it on somebody else. But for you to be able to organize yourself around yourself, to create self-discipline and create good habits and create a routine, and to stay on that routine every single day so you can produce results. It's input so you get output. And output should be based on your performance, based on what you put in. Whatever you put in, you get back. And you talked about this before. It's about the service. So your ability to serve the world is only based on what you create for yourself. The more you have, the more you can give.
That's right. I've shared that with people, and I've, my goal and when I talk about the successes that I want, it's not because it's for the personal. There is some personal excitement and accomplishments that I feel, but the pleasure that I get is what I'm going to be able to turn around and do with all of those resources and give back to our community and give back to the world, because that has become my purpose. I've been told in the past, you shouldn't talk about certain things. And I'm like, well, I don't talk about it to brag or to impress upon anybody. I share it because I want to share my heart with the world, and I want to share what my intent is. And I have good intent, and I want to continue to do that. And just, again, surround myself by great people. And I see all the people that are on here today that are jumping aboard. I'm very excited to see the just everyone that's just jumping in there, and the comments that they're saying, and how much they appreciate what you're saying right now, Stedman. So I appreciate your time. And again, just what you shared. And I love, again, it never gets old with me. I love listening to your videos, and I love it's like it's a refill to my gas tank. Sometimes when I feel that low, just low levels of energy, I just need to just hear that voice. And then I hear those triggers that just trigger and turn things back on. And then I'm like, all right, I'm back on track. Okay. But we're all human. We all go through those moments where we just want to just kind of be that mundane.
You gotta understand, Mauricio, you got to understand that everybody's capable of doing it. Everybody has it. The difference is, the process of success took me a long time to get this. It's the same for everybody.
Yes.
So the difference is some people know it, some people don't. That's why I teach this work. That's why I teach a 9-step success process, because I want people to understand it doesn't make any difference what color you are. It doesn't make any difference where you come from, what your background is. All of that is fine. But the process of success, when you get it, when you understand that you have to build, this is set up and designed to keep you down. But once you get the information, once you understand how to build something for yourself, once you understand how to self-actualize your purpose in life, your identity in life, once you know how to build that, nobody can take that away from you.
That's right.
And then you create a vision for yourself, which is the second step of the 9-step success process. Because the good book says where there is no vision, the people perish. So if you're a leader and you don't have a vision, if you don't have a vision of, Mauricio, your show, where are you going with your show? Where are you going with your life? You can't set up a structure, guidelines. You can't begin to even use the devices or the technology to be able to create the life you want based on what's possible for you. And the greatest thing about this country, we live in a great country. We live in a great country because we have opportunity. Your ability to not know how to use the opportunity is the slavery of this country, and not giving folks the opportunity and creating a caste system around that to keep folks down. We understand it. But once you get above that, once you begin to take your power back and build for yourself and get through that. And the other thing is that it's also designed to keep you down and make you think that you're nothing. It makes you think that everything is negative. And so I grew up with the foundation of my existence is negative. My empowerment is changing my perception about myself so that I can look at myself as a positive human being as opposed to a negative human being. So if the foundation of my existence is negative, my success is always going to be love. It's always going to be passion. It's always going to be looking at the glass half full as opposed to half empty. So regardless of what happens to me, I have to keep changing my perception of myself, because you got a whole world that's trying to do what? Sometimes take you out. So the ability to be able to, again, know who you are, create a vision for yourself that's bigger than your circumstances. Poverty is about doing the same thing over and over every single day. Having a vision beyond your circumstances allow you to see beyond where you came from. So you can create the life you want based on the global market, based on organizing information, based on having access to a library, having access to books, having access to other people who know more than you, and putting that all together so you can create a vision bigger than your circumstances.
And I agree, and that goes back to, again, associating ourselves with coaches and learning and mentors and family, and really just bringing this time off that this time out that we've been put on has really allowed me to even get closer to my own family, and to also slice away some of the people that to just release, let some of all that go and quiet those noises. And again, the word that you used yesterday with me was it just keeps resonating in my mind, is recalibrate for what's coming next, and just moving forward and flowing, and again continuing to learn more so that I can expand and then continue. My purpose has been, I've always been a visual person. I've always written my purposes. I've always written what my focuses are, because I want to be able to hit those goals and beyond, and continue to and reciprocate that and then give back again. So for me, it's always been a push and pull, and we've talked about it when we've shared the stages. I've that's kind of where I go, is I want to be the guy that pushes and pulls people up. Everyone talks about the crabs in the bucket. I tell the people the other side of the story. I'm the guy that throws the rope in and tells you, hold on while I pull you up, and hope that when I pull you out of the crab of the buckets, you don't push me back in. So it's well,
you said this word several times. It's learn. Boy, I'm telling you, when you start to learn, it's information. Man, if I can just keep you dumb, if I can just eliminate, certain books that you don't have to read, if I can just get you to be a non-reader, I don't have to worry about you for the rest of your life.
That's right.
But if you discover learning, and you discovered information and knowledge, and you discovered that, man, all you have to do is just take that information. You got to figure out how to put the pieces of the puzzle together, based on what the picture should look like. You can begin to organize a process for improving your mindset. You got this mindset that, man, your mind,
yes,
to be able to focus on education. That's why they say knowledge is power. And when I learned how to organize that around myself, as opposed to giving everything away, and focusing on my development, and then segmenting my life around all the things that I want to be, and looking at love as a way to organize everything I love in my life, then imagine who I can be. And then learning how to segment that information and knowledge based on everything I love.
Absolutely.
So I can organize my 24 hours around all the things that are important to me, that make me happy. I begin to take control. Boy, my life just changed. And
yes,
all I do is read, because I'm looking not just to read, just to be reading. I'm looking for information. This is cognitive ability, to be able to look for information and apply that information to my life, so it becomes real, so I can apply that to the 21st century skill sets.
Yes, and I agree with that. All the knowledge that we have, if you don't apply it, then it means nothing. You need to take action, and you need to really, everyone always talks about how they want to do this and they want to do that, or they want to be a millionaire, or they want to do these great things, but it takes hard work, and that's really what I try to push onto people. It's like, you want it, anybody can do it. You're right. We are all equal. We all have 24 hours in a day. It's what we do with our time. There's some people that for the last 13 weeks have been on their phones doing silly things and not paying attention, and just not paying attention and not in tune with what's happening. And then there's people that are continuing to, again, recalibrate, sharpen themselves, and get ready for those when the world opens up again and the opportunities open up, that we're there to see them clearly and to have that mindset. There's 3 businesses that technically in the last 13 weeks that I've launched, that I'm a part of, and all we're doing right now is infrastructure stuff. We talked about it yesterday. Stedman, I'm looking forward to working with you hand in hand with the 9 steps, with the identity leadership, because I believe in what you have. What would be the word? What you have put in me, what you've downloaded in me, and the things and the conversations that we've had. Again, I've listened because I want to listen. I want to absorb, and I want to take it in. So yesterday, when we had talked and we said, hey, I want to be a part of your team moving forward, and you said, no, you're already on the team. We're moving forward. We're doing this, and I'm like, hallelujah, amen. God, thank you for again blessing us, all of us, so that I can be here today, us together, to share with everybody that's on here, and the people that are going to see this moving on, because we're making our own version of history here as well. So
yeah, we live in a capitalistic society. It's called business and capital.
yes,
and man, to be able to figure out what your purpose is, and then to monetize that through e-commerce today. I mean, look at Amazon.com. I mean, he started with an idea.
Juggernaut.
So today,
now
you can start with an idea, and you can organize yourself and get beyond this, caste system, right? Work to get beyond that. And sometimes the caste system is your family telling you you're nothing, never going to be anything.
Oof.
Sometimes it's your friends telling you, you're hating on you.
Mm.
Sometimes it's your teacher saying that you're never going to be anything. So, or you shouldn't be working in this or working in that, or you're not college material, or you can't do this. So, what we have to do is get rid of the can't.
That's right.
And start looking at the glass half full as opposed to half empty. And sometimes that's hard when you don't have a sense of self, and you're not working on yourself, and you can't build a strong support system. I'm saying that, so which is why I wrote this book, and which is why I wrote all of the books that I've written, is to try to get people to understand there is a process for success for every single body. And this 9-step success process will help you self-actualize your own potential based on who you are. Yeah. I'm not trying to sell books. I'm just trying to give you the right information.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to get you to understand it's a setup. It's designed for you to stay in that place for the rest of your life. So when you learn how to get beyond that, when you can begin to understand who you are as a person, it's the most powerful. It's a gift, Mauricio. It's the most powerful thing that you can ever get in your life, when you begin to understand your own power as a human being.
Yes, and Stedman, I thank you. I always appreciate when you address me, and I feel like you're speaking to me. You're speaking to my soul and my heart, and I can feel that you care, because I know that I've always referred when we have our conversations, man. I'm listening, and I just again want to just recalibrate, make myself better, so that I can continue to give out to the world, positive stuff, especially during the times that we're going through right now. I really I'm looking forward to when we, can really start, and not that we're being held back now, that where we can start teaching the 9 steps and talking about how to break away from those, from those chains. I heard yesterday, I was speaking to some entrepreneurs, great people. They got amazing ideas, and they said, break away from these chains. And that just kind of just it's been ingrained in my mind, breaking away from these chains. And we want to be free. Then what we need to do is recalibrate our minds, set a stronger mindset, associate ourselves with great people, and or good people, great, good, better, whatever word it is that we choose. I'm also very cognizant of words that we use. We want to use strong, powerful words, because whatever we throw out to the universe, we want it to be, we want it to come back stronger for us. So I'm continuously wanting to be a learner and be guided by messages like what you're sharing with us today. And everyone here is it's amazing, all the wonderful stuff that they're sharing. I'll have to share with you, because I know you probably aren't seeing them on the Facebook, but I'm going to take clips of this and share them with you as well.
Well, there's one thing for sure that I know, is that, it's all about the love. It's all love.
Yes.
And the good book says God is love. Yes. And so it's all love. And if you can get the love, I worked in the prison system 5 years. The guys in prison are still looking for love. Mm-hmm. So if you can find the love within yourself, yes, and you can make love practical, and you can begin to organize love and micromanage love. What do I love? Man, write it down.
Yes.
Spend some time with your kid, and sit down with them and say, tell me what you love.
Yes.
And then let's go to the library and organize all the books that you love and care about, that you're going to read, that you can apply to what you love and apply to your passion, your talents, and your skills. And that becomes your foundation for growth and development. It's that simple.
Absolutely. And I've shared it one time when we were done with the show, I just, I said, Stedman, and obviously you're, I'm 5'6", so I'm like, Stedman, I love you, man. You're like your family, and you embraced and gave me back the love too. And I just felt, man, I was like, you know what? We're going to go places. We're going to do some big things together. We're going to talk about these 9 steps. We're going to continue to put out positive energy and positive messages, but not just only that, we need everyone to apply what they learn from what the teachings are, because again, all this knowledge without any application or any action behind it, it does no one no good. They can talk about it,
but Dr. King said, he said something profound, which he said a lot of things profound. One of the things he says, we either get along as brothers or we die as fools.
Ooh.
So I think that's where we are today.
Can you repeat that one more time, Stedman? That was.
Dr. King said, we either get along as brothers or we die as fools.
That's powerful. I'm gonna do that quote for you, and we're gonna post that up, because that is that's powerful. That it's talking about today. It's where we're at today, even in the current climate of our nation right now. where people are at. There's a lot of pain and suffering going on right now in our country and in the planet, and that we need to all come together as brothers and sisters and really help each other pull ourselves out of all this craziness and come out together as one.
Yeah, so we can still deal with these issues and deal with caste system and deal with all of the things that have been put in place and still maintain our dignity. That's what you want to be able to do. And we have all these young people who are smart, who are intelligent, and who are hungry for change. And it's a great thing to see. So still, you want to be able to focus on love as the foundation for organizing, developing, building, creating, and also getting along with folks, and also being able to assimilate into a culture worldwide. This is a global marketplace today. This is not just America. This is China, this is Asia, this is India, this is Mexico, this is Spain, this is Belgium, this is Germany. This is all over the world.
Yes.
So our ability to be able to navigate the 21st century based on technology is one of the greatest gifts you can do if you can apply that information to your development every single day.
Absolutely. And with that said, I know that we're talking about, the online educational program that you're putting together for your 9 steps. When do you think that we're going, or has it already started? If it has, I'm not aware, but when do you think we'll be able to launch, or that will be launched, so that we can start driving that traffic and starting getting people to get involved with this type of learning, this type of resources that are out there for the people? I mean, we're in the heart of the Silicon Valley. Stedman, right behind me, literally, there's a building back there. That's the headquarters for Zoom. We're in the epicenter of all the big companies, Facebook, Google. They're all here. I mean, we're here. You were here when you've been up here. We've driven by some of these campuses. Amazing stuff. When do you think we could start really pushing this out and start creating these seminars or webinars, however the structure is that you're setting up for the next level?
Well, we're doing the live webinars right now. We're starting to do that. So that's going to happen really, really soon.
Okay.
Next couple of weeks. We're moving everything to a technology base, which is fantastic. I really love this opportunity to be able to speak to people all around the world in this process and be able to teach identity leadership, as a way to empower people, especially young people.
Yes.
We're in the schools. I've been in the schools probably 15 years. We train corporations and corporate members and colleges and high school students and people who really need to understand who they are and are trying to get to the next level and trying to get them to perform at the highest possible level based on their potential as a human being. And so I'm so excited about working with my clients and working with all kinds of folks from all over, and it's just things that are very exciting right now because we have access to technology now.
Yes.
And that's a game changer.
Yes.
And so
yes.
It's about the content. It's about delivering the content and downloading content to empower people anywhere in the world.
And we're working with your team. As a matter of fact, actually, we're on one of our projects. I've been reaching out to your team, and their webinar system is just off the charts. And let me ask you, so if people want to join or to become a part of your 9 steps program, where do they go? I know, is there a certain website? Do they go to stedmangraham.com, or where could we find?
Yeah, we're pushing everybody to stedmangraham.com.
Perfect. So we're gonna funnel all the traffic into stedmangraham.com. So I'll make sure that we put that on the link, that we promote that out as well. stedmangraham.com is the way that we will start to promote the 9 steps. All web based, so it's not like we'll have to go into a certain room. And I'm sure that it's structured. I'd like to, again, following up to our conversation yesterday, I'd like to go through that whole webinar program with you on your team, so that I can also learn myself and then start to drive the young generation and all the people that I influence and that we influence here in the Silicon Valley and take them into that direction, so that hey, we want to kick down some knowledge to these people, to everybody, to all the people that are around us.
Yep, it's important, and I appreciate all of your support. It means a lot to me.
Thank you, Stedman. I want to be mindful of your time. I know, and I apologize about what happened earlier. I know that every time we've always spoken, you've always had one of your stories that you share, whether it's the kid that runs or a Dr. Martin Luther King quote. Can you share and leave us with some powerful words? You've already done that for the last 50 minutes. We'll wrap it up because I know that you got things to do. And again, I appreciate you being here this evening with us.
Well, I would just say that, and I'll just say, I think it's timely to talk about what King said when you talk about the street sweeper. And he said, if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Handel and Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper that swept his or her job well. If you can't be a pine on the top of a hill, be a scrub in the valley. But be the best little scrub on the side of the hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It matters not how strong the gate is. It just matters how strong you are.
Stedman, thank you very much. I love you. I cannot wait to be down in LA and visiting you. I'm going to be coming down in July. I'd like to make some time to come see you face to face. Thank you again. Say hello to everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you again so much. And stay safe, please.
Joe, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Stedman. Have a good one. Wow. What a way to end the evening. I got to apologize to everybody. I don't know what happened here, but we had some technical difficulties and things just crashed. But I got calls from people and he was still talking. So I want to say thank you to everybody that was here this evening with me. Wow, this is just powerful. I apologize. I reached out to a few people. Chandra, I know that I wanted to ask you a question, but with all the breakdowns, I had other couple people. Carmen, I had a couple other people that I wanted to ask some questions, but sorry about that, guys. Wow, I'm just still moved by the words that were shared with us this evening. Stedman Graham, live from his home in Southern California. Thank you very much. Wow, man, I'm just taken by all of this, and I look forward to bringing on more guests as well that can make an impact on our lives and continue to give us that knowledge that we need in order to continue to move and grow and just grow. So Stedman Graham this evening tonight, wow, he spent 55 plus minutes. I apologize, I don't even know how long. Show must go on. Those of you that are out there that know show, that understand the entertainment world or the smoke and mirrors, that is a perfect example of what happens in the entertainment industry. When the something goes wrong, you got to improvise. I had 4 different computers, literally, even my iPad, but we pulled it off. Thank you for those that reached out to me as well and told me that he was still on. So I called him and said, hey, continue to go because people are listening to you. So the show must go on. The show went on. We delivered tonight. Mauricio Live. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. here on Facebook and YouTube. I just want to say thank you again. And next week, we have another great guest, Lena Mendoza. And in July, we got an amazing lineup as well. We got Chandra Brooks on July 1st. We got Alex Mejia on July 8th. We got Marshall Jones on July 15th. We got Harry Evans on July 22nd. And Tony B on July 28th. Again, thank you very much, everyone that's here. Melissa, I love you. Thank you very much for being here. Elizabeth, you guys, you're amazing. Thank you to my sponsors, Juicalize. Today I've drank the I Am Awesome, and to my new skincare, Arbonne, by my girl Mina. Thank you very much for the sponsorship. Wow, it's been an amazing day. Carmen, thank you for always being a big support to everybody. David, thank you, man, for being in here. Paula, Houston, you're always amazing. You always send me great stuff. I love listening to you. Brian Connors, thank you. Great meeting you today, by the way, and some amazing stuff. man, this thing it just got blown up with messages. I'm going to jump on after, and I'm going to start plugging in and thanking everyone for participating. I'm going to hit replay on the live, and thank you everybody. My mother that joined us tonight. I love you, Mom. I wouldn't be here on this planet if it wasn't for you. My sister too, who's out there. She's a LA County deputy. Please be safe and protect those that are protesting in peace, and take care of those as well. Again, thank you everybody for being here this evening with us. Apologize for the technical difficulties, but true entertainment adaptation real quick. We made it happen. And again, thank you very much, guys. You guys all have a wonderful evening. I love you guys. Please join me every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Mauricio Mejia Live, episode 10 with Stedman Graham. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night.